I am Mabuto Nicholas Mabena, a Ugandan political scientist and journalist David Nyekorash Matsanga, who claims to be the founder and chairman of the Pan-African Forum Limited and Associates, has called on the ANC in South Africa to deport Cde Geza. He assumes that Cde Geza is in South Africa, according to the letter that is published by media houses in Zimbabwe online. This Ugandan national says that according to their investigations, it reveals that Comrade Cde Geza is in South Africa. And the letter that they written to the Secretary General of the ANC is that he is using South African soil to destabilize Zimbabwe. He accuses Comrade Cde Geza for using social media, claiming that it broadcast from South Africa, and therefore in solidarity with the ZANU-PF and the government of Zimbabwe, this gentleman and his friends, they want Comrade Cde Geza to be deported. Firstly, we do not know ourselves about the whereabouts of Comrade Cde Geza, whether he is in Zimbabwe, South Africa, or wherever, we do not know. But the issue is, David Nyekorach Matsanga, if I pronounce his name correctly, is being selective. You cannot write to the ANC and ask the government of South Africa and the ANC to deport Cde Geza on the basis that, as he claims in the letter, that he is using South African soil to destabilize Zimbabwe. In 2017, when the then deputy president of Zimbabwe was fired from government, he fled to Mozambique. He did not spend a night in Mozambique. He flew overnight, not really overnight, but he flew in the evening, at night. He flew at night from Mozambique to Johannesburg. This is confirmed by the book, 2 weeks in November, that he flew that very same night, that's very same night, from Mozambique to Johannesburg. He spent about 2 weeks in South Africa. This Ugandan national, David Nyekorach, never called on the ANC and the government of South Africa to deport Emmerson Mnangagwa when he was in exile in South Africa. He never raised the issues that is raising against Comrade Cde Geza, against President Mnangagwa at the time. He never did. Christopher Mtswanga, the ZANU-PF spokesperson, again revealed by the book, 2 weeks in November, when they were organizing a military campaign, what we refer to as a Bond coup in 2017, he fled to South Africa. According to the book, they were operating from Sandton and also in a hotel at OR International Airport. No one wrote to the ANC calling on the African National Congress and the South African government to deport Comrade Chris Mtswanga in 2017. So, Comrade or this journalist David should not be selective. should not be selective. We can go on and on and on about the victims of the ZANU-PF regime that are in South Africa. If David is what he claims to be, a Pan-Africanist, he should be pushing the ZANU-PF government to account for the genocide, because you can't be a Pan-Africanist and commit a genocide against your own people. It cannot be. There is no Pan-Africanist who commits a genocide against his own people. It's not possible. So there are people that ran away from Kukuraundi to Botswana, some to South Africa, because they wanted to be safe. There are people today that arrived in South Africa in the 80s and they can't go back to Zimbabwe because of the trauma that they've gone through. The trauma they went through during the genocide. So you cannot then be selective and ignore this reality that a genocide was committed in Matabeleland and parts of Midlands by the ZANU-PF government. Then you claim to be a Pan-Africanist and you do not want the government to account for those atrocities. There are many political activists that ran away from Zimbabwe, running away from the brutality of ZANU-PF. You know, the other day, I think it was this week, I think it was on Monday, I was talking with comrades because there was a demonstration in Soweto. I think the demonstration was over service delivery. Then a truck was looted. I'm not sure that that truck was involved in an accident or what, but we could see on national television people running, carrying tinned fish from that truck N12 in Diepkloof in Soweto. And they were saying, if that was in Zimbabwe, what the residents of Soweto and Diepkloof did, seen on television, carrying those tinned stuff, if it was in Zimbabwe, the military was going to be deployed there. And every home was going to be searched for the tinned stuff. And anyone who would have been caught with those tinned stuff was going to be brutalized, arrested. And I was saying to comrades, as we were discussing what was happening in Diepkloof and Soweto, that South Africa is democratic. While one does not condone such action, but there are better ways of dealing with such, as opposed to sending in the army. Workers in South Africa, on daily basis, they march, they toy on daily basis. The police will be deployed to protect them, to ensure that they do not destroy property, and that themselves, the marchers, are safe. Not in Zimbabwe. So as I've said, that I've never met Comrade Cde Geza. I've never met him. I've never spoken to him. I do not know where he is, whether he's in Zimbabwe, whether he's in South Africa. But according to this man from Uganda, he says he is in South Africa. And then he says, as I'm concluding, he says they are doing this in solidarity with the ZANU-PF and the government of Zimbabwe, because the ANC in South Africa took Israel to the International Court of Justice. So he says they will not keep quiet if ANC government, South African government, can take Israel to the International Court of Justice. They also have an obligation to ask the ANC to deport any person who is seen to be using South African soil to destabilize Zimbabwe. What I know is that Zimbabweans use social media to raise political awareness. They have never used the South African soil for military training. I would understand if David says Comrade Cde Geza is using South African soil for military training. That I would understand. But there's no such. You walk in the streets of Johannesburg, Cape Town, PE, wherever, Polokwane, you meet victims of ZANU-PF in South Africa. Please like this video.
Ndo nyaya dziri kuitika munyika yedu muri yeZimbabwe. Munyika medu hamuna kumira zvakanaka, muri kuitika zvinhu zvakawanda. Isusu sekuruga Jones Media chedu kupinda munyika tichinokuvigirai nyaya dziri kuitika, touya nadzo kwamuri kuti munzwe zviri kuitika. Isusu hatiwedzere kana kutapudza, tinouya nenyaya semanzwira tinenge taita, touya nayo kwamuri. Ino ichanewo yevanhu, rambai muri pano, tinokuvigirai nyaya semaitikiro adzinenge dzaita. Kana wanga usati wasubscribe, ndiwo mukana wekuti usubscribe kuKruger Jones Media. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell kuitira kuti uve wekutanga kunzwa nyaya yatinenge tauya nayo. Tinokutendai muri yeZimbabwe, rambai muri pano pachannel yevanhu. Tinokutendai nesupport yamuri kutipa. Thank you so much.